Hello, guys, and welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest updates. We start with Rafinha. Of course, the Barca summer arrival opens up on competition for places, saying that I never accept losing. We are going to be discussing on that as we move ahead. Then, secondly, talking about Memphis Depay, as it has been reported that the Barcelona misfit striker sets two conditions to leave the club in January. We are also going to be looking at that. So guys, before we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona fought tooth and nail in the summer transfer window to clinch the signing of Rafinha from Leeds United. The Catalans faced stiff competition from Premier League bigwigs Chelsea, but ultimately prevailed in the transfer battle. Since arriving at Spotify Camp Nou, the 25-year-old winger has shown glimpses of his quality, but has been unable to deliver top-class displays on consistent basis. It even led to his playing minutes getting affected in recent weeks. Indeed, Rafinha did not start any of Barcelona's last 5 league games and has, in total, featured from the kickoff in only 6 of their 8 La Liga encounters. With the likes of Ousmane Dembélé, Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres all available at Xavi's disposal, the competition for places in the starting 11 is intense at Barca. And while Rafinha acknowledges that, the winger said he will not give up fighting for a regular place in the lineup in a recent interview with Globe Sport. He said, I want to play every minute, every game. I like to play and participate all the time. I'm very competitive and I will fight. I never accept losing, Rafinha said. The former Leeds United winger spoke about his reduced minutes in the lead up to the World Cup, admitting that he was concerned it might affect his chances of making Brazil's World Cup squad. He said, any player in my position would be afraid of that risk, as I wasn't playing much, Rafinha stated, but in the end, he was included in the 26-man squad list by Tite in Brazil, along with 2 former Barca stars in Neymar and Dani Alves. Rafinha also spoke about the disappointment that the club faced in the UEFA Champions League this season, having crashed out of the competition at the group stage itself. While he admitted it was far from ideal, the Brazilian chose to look at the positives in terms of how the team was performing in La Liga. He said, we were eliminated from the Champions League, but we are having a great season in La Liga. We are going through a complicated period, but it all depends on us. It's in our hands to be able to turn the situation around, he said. On the pressure that comes along with the expectations at a club like Barcelona, the winger said, when you play for a big club like Barca, you have to have in your head the maximum demands. That's normal. The fans want to win all the championships, and we also will have to want to win everything. And despite the Champions League elimination, Rafinha insisted that the team was heading in the right direction under Xavi. He said, I think we are doing a great job. Reflecting on his own form and slow start to life at Spotify Camp Nou, Rafinha admitted that he is still adapting and getting used to his new surroundings and teammates. He said, I know I still need to adapt more to the club, to La Liga, to the country. My teammates are helping me a lot to complete my adaptation at Barca, insisted the Brazilian. In 18 appearances across all competitions for Barcelona, Rafinha has scored 2 goals and assisted 4 more. Since joining Barcelona in the summer transfer window, Rafinha have been one of the main players for Barca, even though recently his form have not been the best and Xavi have been, benching him. Prior to the World Cup break, Rafinha hardly started matches again, and here in this interview we can see how the player himself admitted that he was scared that might risk his World Cup his hopes for the World Cup or being called for the World Cup. But fortunately for him, he didn't risk his calling up in the World Cup. Of course, he's part of the Brazil squad. So, of course, he talks about the World Cup. He talks about Barcelona, the aspirations of Barca. Talks about not, having a zeal to always win, and the fact that he will do all his best to ensure that he becomes a starter again, because he has not been really up to his task, to be honest. Many people expected him to perform better than the way he is currently performing at Barca. So, but from the interview, we can see how he keeps on insisting that he wants to adapt. He's still to adapt to the club, to the city, to La Liga, and so on and so forth. But his teammates are helping him to do that. So in the long run, we'll still know how true this is. Then moving on to the next story of discussion. For possibly the third time in his career, the next destination for Memphis Depay has become quite a saga. The Dutch international created a lot of buzz when joining Manchester United in 2015 and then Barca in 2021. Now with his contract clocking up next year, Memphis is set to leave Barca soon enough. Barcelona are willing to let him leave in January itself through the termination of his contract, but the player will not make it easy on the club at all. According to Sport, he has set two conditions for any possible winter departure. Firstly, Memphis wants Barcelona to pay the remainder of his salary on his contract. He will have 6 months remaining until his deal clocks up in January, and wants the club to pay his salary until the time, at least, for termination. Secondly, Memphis will only leave for a Champions League club that will give him a leading role in the team. The player was the protagonist for PSV Eindhoven early in his career, and then again for Olympique Lyonnais after leaving United. During that time, the Dutchman has also become the second highest scorer, that is 42 goals for the Netherlands national team, and is currently only behind Robin van Persie, who is having 50 goals. Therefore, it is not particularly surprising to see that he wants a leading role in his next team as well. In fact, he was signed as the leader of the attack by Ronald Koeman back in 2021, but has fallen down the pecking order significantly under Xavi. The Spanish manager preferred the services of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang last season and Robert Lewandowski this time. Either way, Memphis will only leave the club in January if his conditions are being met. If not, the player has no problem staying back until June, fighting for minutes and eventually leaving on his own terms. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.